What's popular YouTube? Another day, another demo. And today we have some very fun upgrades for the demos, okay? So yesterday I read the comments for the Kerrigan video, and a lot of people were saying that they, first appreciated the videos, but also that the ones that become very narrative focused lose sight of the demo a lot, and there's some people who want to watch to see, what went wrong. And of course that one's called an unlucky or a bad. So that one specifically kind of, what are the different, mechanical errors that are being made, that kind of thing. There was just so much to talk about when it came to the narrative stuff. I just went with the flow. And there's a lot of great channels out there doing different things in CS. And I want to contribute to that ecosystem. I don't want anybody to, step on each other's toes. Not that we are, and we all bring different things to the analysis in the first place, but I think definitely my strength, especially being so close to the pro scene, is following along with the narratives and storylines. And so sometimes I'm going to lean into a little bit more, but this is also a symptom of the fact that because of the POV demos that we have, I was limited by not having spectator tools, X-ray, minimap, and on Friday I messaged Dominic Tugin and I said, hey, this would take the videos to the next level, honestly. If we had minimap and X-ray toggle, and by Sunday he added them. So now we have them. We have POV demos with the POV radar, with only the player's information, their res, all their settings. And then we have toggle on X-ray and toggle minimap with drawing. So in this demo, we're going to be watching JKS CT side versus G2 in the finals of Katowice during Katowice month as it stands. And we're doing it with being able to draw on the minimap and stuff. So let me know. It's a bit bumpy because I had to, figure out the new hotkeys and stuff like that. But it was more fun for the dead moments, because it is kind of a challenge sometimes to come up with stuff to say during periods where I only get one perspective, no X-ray, don't know what's happening on the map outside of what I remember. And yeah, so this I think helped a lot, but I'm going to try to find a balance. Let me know if it was good. Long intro again. Check it out. Watch it. Let's hop in. All right. It's the resolution everybody loves to pretend to love. 1024 by 768 black bars. You can't fool me though. I'm gonna be on native, all right? Watching things in full HD. You guys probably say you're on black bars and then actually play native privately. I know I'm getting trolled. Check out this next shot by JKS. I'm trying to see if Hunter actually hits the ground here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't even touch the ground. Let's see if this demo can be actually a good argument for black bars. That's what we're trying to find out right now. All right. Excuse the radar. I don't know if it's broken right now. I think it is. Yeah. So the radar is broken. All right. Listen, guys. We got a couple of huge upgrades to Coach Lau. All right. Dominic Tugin is the man who made HLAE, Half-Life Advanced Effects. And that is the program that movie editors have been using to make Counter-Strike videos forever. To create camera pass, do all these things. They even use HLAE to catch the cheating coaches, right? The coach bug. They use HLAE to see those cameras for players and people who weren't actually players themselves. So it's a very awesome tool. And Dominic, you think, oh man, this guy is Mr. Famous, right? I mean, he's so busy. Probably can't get a hold of him. I messaged him on Friday and said, hey, listen, if we could add toggle X-ray and mini-map drawing, my videos could go to the next level. Coach Lau could get an upgrade. By Sunday, Dominic had it done. Didn't even message me back, just did it. So now we have that. Now not only do we have the radar that works as it should, that only shows our players' information, so red dots will show up when his teammates see them. But now we have mini-map drawing, and we have toggle X-ray. I'm going to talk about JKS in a second. Okay, I know yesterday's video, the last video we did on Kerrigan, was so narrative focused, I didn't talk as much about the game. So this lines up really well. but I, didn't have much coming into that tactically to talk about. And yeah, some of the videos are going to be narrative focused, and some are going to be more analytical. And in this demo, we're going to be talking about JKS and how he plays under balc, actually. And he was the highest rated CT player versus G2 here in the final of Kato. This is the game we're watching. So now we have the mini map, and we have toggle X-ray. So during kind of dead zones on the games that we're talking about more tactically, we can get more context, which is great. And actually, let's see how it works. I'm going to try to keep it natural and keep it flowing and still focus mainly on just the POV like we see it. But yeah, this might help out a lot. So like here in this situation, we can see them like no one's out towards A. So at least I have an idea. Because we are obviously have always been missing communication from the POV demos, unfortunately. So that means there's some guesswork on my end. It feels like I'm casting again, which of course, that's what I do. But it feels like, I'm casting, but I only get one POV. So it's kind of like Caster Challenge 2.0. Plus I'm no play-by-play caster, color caster, you know what I mean? So, all right. JKS playing the A site. Now, in the second half, when we switched over, Jax played CT side. He played under balcony, and he played under balcony. He played under balcony every round. Me and Elliot both tweeted out at the same time. I've never seen somebody play under balcony this many times in a match. I couldn't believe it. He just went there every single time. But the real funniest part about that is that JKS on the other side of the server is probably the most infamous under balcony player in Counter-Strike. Okay, everybody knows about JKS playing under balcony, and I think it's the part of the reason it's kind of his signature spot is because he is so good at playing under balcony. And okay, let me use a visual aid here, because this demo might be a little bit bumpy. Okay, but JKS will be under balc like this, and under balc is very, very strong at fighting people coming out of A ramp and fighting people coming out of Palace, right? For audio cues, dropping smoke on yourself, you just have just this strong line from this position, right? But under balcony, usually it's a good counter when the T's take over mid control. Once the smoke comes up at top con and they're sitting inside of it waiting, they come out and they cross, and JKS, who's under balc, having to fight this is a very good fight for the players who are crossing. Okay, this is a very, very good fight for the players who are crossing, and JKS in this corner can get pre-fired through the wood here from angles like this, which makes it very hard to deal with. So that's why. So the reason I think that this is his signature spot is because there are a number of situations, and we'll see if you find them in this game, where JKS has an incredible long-range spray. Actually, that makes him almost impervious to attacks when it comes to the A site. So it allows him to abuse the spot a lot more than most other people could. That might sound silly to some, but genuinely, I think that's a big deal when it comes to JKS playing this particular spot, because that's one of the most, natural ways to try to like scare someone from playing there. To constantly take over connector control, threaten the A split that way. Then you're the CT side playing under balc every round. They're going to feel a little bit less comfortable doing that. But we don't see JKS playing under balc every single round of this game. Like we do see Jax playing it in the second half. So there will be more to discuss here. And this one was spawn based, so you have to be very careful about crossing window in the beginning of the round. And they obviously use it just to boost him up. But you still want to use your best spawns possible, because if they do take a risk and swing out mid, like a Lexi flies out, then you're in a terrible position. JKS recognizes a threat there. Adjusts really well. See how he really holds high with that flashbang, so it pops perfectly as it gets right underneath the ceiling of ladder. And Hunter double dinks him with the AK. That was nasty. Okay. We've watched this demo 3 or 4 times now, I think, already. 2 or 3 times. And I casted it. right? Did I cast this? No, I think this is the finals. What am I talking about? No, that was the Navi game. Sorry. But we watched this demo a few different perspectives now. So it's going to be interesting to see the rounds, like Hunter rounds, for example, from the other perspective. Did we watch his T side? No, we watched Hunter's CT side as well. Okay, so kind of a new one. We'll see Hunter on T side, JKS on CT side. Memory of a goldfish out here. I can't even remember which ones I've already done. Oh, we got some utility damage off that, I think, earlier in the round from JKS. Okay, and we got another spawn-based move. Now, there could still be one on the pillar. JKS probably, you know, going to be a touch aware of it, but doesn't see anybody. So this is an outpost position. We move into a spot like this inside of the halls. If they come up ramp, Twist here doesn't have to worry about anyone peeking him from balcony, right? So all of his positions here are going to be open to the A ramp, and that gives you stronger angles towards the A ramp. So you'll constantly see Twist abusing the fact that he doesn't have to, like when he rotates back, for example, into the site, he doesn't have to worry about Palace guy peeking him, which is a huge deal if you're in connector. You normally get back on the back boxes, so you can see Twist is just walking back. He doesn't have to worry about his back being exposed, and the entire time that's the position that this opens up. So early Palace control, that's a risk, of course, to run up in there, but as soon as they take that small risk, now the A site is so much more strengthened, and you can also almost leave the A site, right? Because you could have naturally played position here. Oh, I'm going to go back and catch that. And JKS finds the A ramp lurker in Nico. Just wanted to skip back and catch that. So that's another one. And, you know, Nico's not always lurking, so sometimes they're going to be aware of this too. And JKS, when you leave the palace, you have to be worried about someone trying to punish that, especially if they think you're going to go back. But I think he felt pretty sure there wasn't going to be an A attack to follow up with that. That would be this double risk that they run if they wanted to do it. But still, you know, you've got nothing else to do, so check on that A ramp. So a key kill there from JKS, taking over Palace. That early risk is really good. That's the best way to smoke A ramp. You see over top of triple, you aim in between the two pillars that are jutting out, you know, like castle, what are they called? I don't know. Where the archers go in between them. That kind of thing. This is Malta, right? This position right here, I call this Dennis. Okay. It's from a player from a long time ago, but it's just what I've always called it. Just sitting there right on the doorway. I'm going to try to use this really quickly once in a while, but like right here. Very nice angle. Very nice angle off the side of default. And you can see all the flashes coming over really easily when you're sitting on that wall. So it's a cool spot to be in. It looks relatively open, but it's also pretty well protected against Palace. Okay, if a Palace guy comes out, they have to go kind of wide to be able to see you. And so that's why that spot on the wall is quite nice. I wish I could get these lines to be thicker. That would be cool. Just a touch. Oh, and there's finally the Palace lurk that comes out. You can see the bomb crossing into the site, and JK is just holding the cross on one side. Every single face player hiding, but everybody watching one kind of cross, basically, just to make sure that Opera can't be approached. And Shadow gets spotted. Last 2 kill comes down. 7-0, clean start. The palm tree flash, you see JKS throwing that every single round, just for the top mid. If the T's decide to run out quickly, it's a small counter. If they make the mistake or catch a weird timing, then they will get caught off. You see JKS watching for feet as he walks down into the A ramp. In case there is a lurker. Let's see how he played close A ramp with a double up setup. I don't think it's not really something you want to do every single time, but it's ideal, especially if you think they don't expect it, to try to play 2 players close A ramp when you can. It just reinforces the setup. The problem is if you don't want it to be something you do all the time, because then it's very clear where if you see one person, you know where the other person is. But right now in this position, Rops just watching the balcony cross, and you have all of A covered in this close spot, and you've even got a roof over your head, right, in the A ramp. So if they do like did a palace pour out, Rops could fight, but then he could also retreat back into the ramp. Sorry, my lines suck, and they also just keep disappearing. But for some reason... Oh, okay. I'm going to go back. So this is kind of interesting from JKS, because he's actually exposing himself to that top... this top area right here, right? Oh, they missed their flash. Oh, that was Nico who missed his flash. I remember this. Nico missed his flash, and Hunter still killed both players. Very unfortunate. Unlucky or bad. And you could see from his POV that that flash would have put in work right there, especially versus JKS's position. So they lose. Basically, because of Hunter's double entry, that could have been an easy hold. And now we'll finally get some A ramp or some under balc action. So now actually looking at this from FaZe's perspective, they see that they're doubling up towards connector. Again, this is what I look at as the kind of the most tenuous part for your teammate if they're under balc, if they have to worry about people crossing out of A ramp. So as much as JKS, I said, can handle them crossing from connector, it still is better to try to not rely on, you know, a player's amazing spray to hold it down, and instead, you know, try to actually put some pressure on connector or deal with any mid control, because that's what's going to help JKS be very, very comfortable in his position. And you can see they've got both Twist in window and Rops in front of connector to help him out. Ooh, action's coming. Now let's see what this is JKS's favorite off angle. Oh, he actually doesn't win that. There's a second player that comes out. The spray's not great. There's no flash for him as well. He could have asked for one over top of balcony. And they had Rops inside a window. I don't know if Rops had any utility there, but that seemed a little bit lacking. JKS had the information early, and he had two players in pretty good spots that could have supported him a bit. No one was flashed on the A ramp, and he didn't throw any utility for himself. They didn't smoke out under balc. They didn't flash with the peak. So that wasn't very good. Oh, and Hunter with another double entry. Let's go forward. Let's see if that changes a bit. Now, kind of the cool part about playing A is that you don't actually have to get kills. You can sit back, CT spawn, and just play retake if that's the setup. It's very easy to stop plants late into the round on A site. So as long as you kill like that, you know, that first minute 20 or something like that, if that happens, A site is a dream because you need so many nades just to get the bomb down. So you have a lot of freedom. Here they've got the bomb under hot watch. And this last kill, who cares? It's over. Another round. A by himself once again. So they're copying and pasting the play. Palm tree flash. You know, slightly different grenades each time, just to make sure. Doesn't want to throw that molly too deep because you don't want people to get in front of it. And instantly smoking. Just making sure that there just can't be any pressure A right now if they want to. If they do that, they can get punished. And you have to pick your battles on CT spawn. You might have a nice position where you're safe, but if you die early, that's going to be really bad for your team if the T's can take over. So yeah, all right, that's picking your battles right there. 2 duels, 1. Nice refrag from Monacy. But there's some more support, I guess, for JKS taking those fights. Now he is back in spawn, but that's more than you can ask for. Oh, we've seen one. Oh man, that was a really small timing window he got out of A ramp. And they might want to push him, but we'll see. That's kind of unfortunate. I think he probably called that right as soon as he saw someone cross, but he missed that window by a hair, and Rops got cleared. And Bogdan's Law, low HP player, gets the op. And you see JKS, right? He was in CT spawn, And he had these players coming out even with pistols, but even then he was careful about how much he committed to the fights, because it's a spot where it's actually more important to stay alive than it is to get a kill. You could stay 5v5 and still have done your job if you get some good utility damage off, good spam damage off, as long as you stay alive. But if you're the guy who dies in CT spawn, that's your main responsibility. That's why I think it's actually kind of nice to play A sometimes in that sense. It's not that there's no responsibility, but there is some. It's not a position where you have to get kills if your teammates aren't also committed to the site. I think the difference is if you're sitting in CT spawn and your teammate's playing in the site, then you have to help them, because if they go up 5v4, having CT spawn control is not that useful. 4v5 retake's already very difficult. So depending on how your teammate plays it dictates how committal you'll have to be. But if you're alone on the A site sitting in spawn, your number one priority is to stay alive. Get damage, stay alive. And if you get the kills, great. Like we saw JKS get the 2 kills in spawn from spawn. That's more than you can ask for. All right, so here's a position where the top cons is smoked. And how close will JKS get if he's going to go into A ramp? You don't really want to be stuck Apex if they come out. I can also pause. You don't really want to be stuck here in a position where they just, I don't know if it was a CT smoke or the T smoke, or they just come top con. Because if they burst across, then you're not in a good position and you have to turn this corner a very awkward way. So rather have A ramp control, or even Tetris is even better. But something where you have vision of A ramp, or you're looking into it, or whatever it is. Because yeah, with the connector presence, you don't want to be sitting there. If you have mid control, for example, then sitting A ramp at Apex is nice. But again, this line right here is very strong. Okay, versus under balc, versus A ramp, everything like that. That's the main reason that the T's will take over mid. So we'll see JKS moving to Tetris, which is great. Still a bit of an anxiety as he thinks about, A ramp. And yeah, even though he's at Tetris, once again, okay, looking at this cross, the main thing is that when you're crossing like this, all these guys are doing is clearing these positions, all right? And then they cross triple, and then they look default. So you got to catch... Oh, oops. Wait. Shit. How do I end that? Okay. I forgot I had a movie mode. I'm bringing the menu out too much. I'm trying not to pause too much. The 2-op retake, what could go wrong? I mean, he's still sitting default. Modesty played that really well. He just waited. Modesty threw that smoke down front triple as well. Yeah, we watched his demo. But yeah, he's sitting Tetris, knows they're crossing, and has to be worried about it. Ooh, Nico whiffed. Wow, that's not a Nico spray. You know what I mean? That was a bit weird. He didn't have a great final. He still had the second highest ADR actually, for what it's worth. Overall, just not a great mirage, I think. You can see JKS constantly rechecking for timings, just in case someone sneaks out. Now, playing Firebox is it's a risky position because it can be the focus of grenades, but it's also a position that you just don't see people play that much. So low HP can be a nice option if you need basically, random timing kill, or just punish an entry fragger for not checking something. Playing a position like fire is good. If you have full HP, a teammate, all your nades, don't go fire. Don't, like JKS just went to. That's not a place you want to be. It's pretty pretty much a noob spot. Because you don't have vision here. You can watch Palace. You can check on A ramp, but every time you check on A ramp, this fight is better for the A ramp guys. Okay, you just don't want to get stuck here. Then you're spammable. This entire box is so easily shot through. And if anybody's crossing this way, I mean, you're just pretty much useless unless they forget about you. You know, you can't do anything. Contrast that to all the other spots. You can be really a part of the action. Over and fire. That's a nice spot. Low HP, up numbers. Yeah. Wow, having too much fun with that mini map. Oh shit, where'd my cam go? Yo. Okay, messed up the end of the demo. Too many new hotkeys. Boys, that was cool. I'm glad we got the mini map going on. That was JKS playing a site, playing under balc. Unfortunately, I think the one round that he actually played under balc, he didn't even get a kill. So that totally throws everything out the window. But that's what I know him for. Now less so, but I think OT was had some better examples of his good sprays. Either way, like that. That's more fun. If you enjoy that, let me know. Good changes. If you want to, Dominic's only request is that you throw some support to the Ukrainian refugees, any humanitarian relief efforts, as opposed to donating to him. That's his request. So I'll link his Twitter. Okay, give him a follow. Say thank you for creating HLAE. And in a game like Counter-Strike with a ton of legacy and history, Dominic's honestly one of the forefathers for a lot of people who have, especially the editing community. So hit him up, say thank you, give him a follow, and you know what it is. Hope you enjoyed that. So let me know who's next. Is Kato month over finally? That's what I want to finally find out. I'll leave to the comments to decide. Be safe, everyone.
Big dog shit, got my paws all dirty. Looking for a plate, that's why the dogs up early. With it white big, eat it like a McFlurry. I ain't got time to chill, I'm in a hurry. P the game, I got it for my daddy ho. Smoking dope, but saying raps out on the patio. My boss said you ain't